What's your name? What's your name? Zabo? Ooh, that's different. What's your name? What's your name? Zabo? Ooh, that's different.
Ever sue the driver who crashed into you.
Grand jury being sworn in and receiving evidence. Mr. Wade traveled to Athens, Georgia to meet with officials from the White House counsel's office.
I don't recall.
On the right-hand side here is the grand jury being sworn in and receiving evidence. Grand jury being sworn in and receiving evidence. Mr. Wade traveled to Athens, Georgia to meet with officials from the White House counsel's office.
pussy up, diggy.
Grand jury being sworn in and receiving evidence. Mr. Wade.
Pussy. Bitch. Y'all niggas. And oh, hell.
Everybody, like to say happy Friday before Christmas to everybody, and hope that everybody had a good day today at work, and those who didn't work had a good day at home or doing whatever you had to do. Um, hopefully this will be a good holiday season for everybody this year. You know, hoping everybody had a good day as well as a good week. This is Big Jeff coming to you live.
No days off. And this is Shanita.
Coming to you live from No Days Off Radio Production with number one show in the land, Nothing But The Truth. Hey, in today's topic, we're going to let Shanita share that with us right now, and then we'll get right into it.
So, guys, today's topic is what you don't know about what happened in Atlanta at the Young Thugs concert. You don't know. Some things are not public, and especially when it comes to a little bit of corruption, they're not going to publicize that. So what you don't know about what happened at the Young Thugs concert, and also our views of the testimony of Madam DA Fonnie Willis in Atlanta before the Georgia Senate Committee, in which I was present to represent No Days Off Radio and Nothing But The Truth. And I'm actually making a post now. Tune in to Absolute Justice Now. You can read the post. You can see some of my video from the day of the hearing. And tune in. Share the video so you guys can hear about what happened, things they don't tell you.
Yeah. All right. Now, we want to start off by letting everybody know that we do have apparel now, you know, for the No Days Off and Nothing But The Truth podcast. And also for the Thug clothesline, which is called Truly Humble Under God. All right, and we're gonna give you the website that you can go on to order it shortly. And you know, we have shirts, have full outfits, we have hats, socks, and scarves. You know, also we have hoodies. This is a hoodie. All right. Right. Yeah. So we are, like we promised, during the end of the year that we'll be bringing a lot of new things to the show, a lot of new things to our people, and hopefully, we can start the year off right and on a better note than last year and the last 2 or 3 years. So we're gonna get on into the show. We have some people that may be calling in to be on the show. And hopefully we'll have a good show tonight. All right. To order the apparel. To order the apparel is Truly Humble on the Guard, and our IG page that you can go on and see the apparel is a numeric formula for the word thug, THUG. And that number is, that IG number that you can find the apparel on is 84.72.85.71. That's 84.72.85.71. And it's Truly Humble on the Guard. That's the IG that you can go on to see the apparel and make orders. All right. Now, as Sunita was saying about the concert, it was a pretty good concert. It was great. It was
Great. It was amazing, guys.
It was really heartfelt to me.
It was.
It was a heartfelt concert, and I'm gonna explain to you all why, because y'all know I'm not gonna tell you something without telling you why I'm saying. But it was a heartfelt concert. As everybody know, he's put out a proposal to his better half, Miss Mariah the Scientist, and asked him to marry him. So,
Congrats.
congrats to them on that note. And hopefully that, they have a, wonderful life together. Mm-hmm. Also, I wanna thank all of the people for coming out to the concert to support him, and welcome him home, for the first time, other than the show he put on at the courthouse step. He had a pretty good crowd. People, they were showing their love, the whole 9 yards. But I want to give a special thanks to the artists that came out to support him.
Yeah.
Opposing to the artist that was on the schedule. He had it was a few people that came out and showed some real love to my son. I'm talking as a father right now. And to see his emotions be displayed was really heartfelt for me.
It was.
To where my son made a comment, and the comment that he made was to say, I still have some friends. I still have some friends, and that lets you know how he may be feeling right now. Other than him trying to hold himself together to continue to be the entertainer for his fans. The artists that came out, man, I love you all for that. I really appreciate you all coming out, showing my son the love and representation that you showed him, and I couldn't be more grateful to all of you, and hopefully I will see you all on a tour with him as well, to continue to show that support, because one thing I can say about him, he will show you that same love and consideration 3 times over.
That's facts.
3 times over, so, and it's because of how I explain who we are. We are people who believe in loyalty over friendship. And the people that came out and supported him, in his concert that was loyalty, that wasn't friendship. And I really appreciate that greatly. All right. Now, the other side of that is, during his performance, I felt that we was disrespected, because even before his performance, we were disrespected because I have been to a few concerts, and you all know I have, because it's always advertised when Big Jeff shows up at a concert. More likely than I feel insulted because don't just show me at Gunna's concert. Show me at everybody's concert that I attend. Because I'm trying my best to get rid of all of this, all this disturbance that's being caused between these artists of Atlanta. It's time for us to stop that. It's time for us, for the aliens of Atlanta to put that behind us. And we're going to need everybody's participation to do that. It's only the artists of Atlanta that we're seeing in the tabloids feuding. And that's, it's beginning to be sickening. It's beginning to be sickening. It's bad enough they're dealing with the judicial system jumping down their throat every 5 minutes or wait for them to make a slip up or, trying to put them in a position to where they can try to catch them making a slip up, however, soever, whenever. And that ain't cool. We've never been like that in this city. Regardless of what side of Atlanta or side of what Georgia you from, we have never been this separated with neither side of Georgia, north, south, east, or west. We are so separated right now, man, until it's as if everybody's just trying to feed off of negativity and not positivity. And it's sad. It's sad. It's bad enough we have had a district attorney to come in and forcibly separate these kids, with this gang bull crap, and, making them, putting enough pressure on them to make them plea out to things that they shouldn't be playing out to, or things that, are being put forth in front of them to force them to have to, make decisions that's not beneficial for them. It's only beneficial for the judicial system. And it's only because of people playing a game. People playing a game. So we are the ones who got to stop that. It can't be done through the political parties. This is something that has to be done through, by the people, because these are our people who is being done to. These are our kids, mothers, fathers, cousins, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, the whole 9 yards. So we got to make a stand as a people to say it's time to get this shit out of our city. Or put some people in office who's going to be really and truly for the city. Because it's sickening. I mean, it's actually sickening. At the concert, once Thug went to take the stage and give us the magnificent performance that he did give, and I'm not just saying that because he's my son, I'm saying that because I like being entertained, and he actually entertained us.
That was awesome, guys.
They actually entertained us. Every artist entertained us. And that's unusual for a lot of shows, for a lot of concerts, especially rap concerts. That's unusual. To see everybody that participated and came and supported his concert, they put on a tremendous show. They gave everybody something to be happy about and pleased with. But during the concert of his performance, they took dogs in the back in the back area where their dressing rooms were, had the dogs sniffing through the dressing rooms, and just all kind of little police type shit. But that's not cool. That wasn't, to me, that wasn't fair, because all the other concerts I attended, that didn't happen.
Never.
I have never seen that happen.
Like
You know.
how long do you guys want
So-
to keep punishing him? You know what I'm saying? He
You know,
did his
so-
time. He's out. Like,
He's doing what he's supposed to do. And I'm not going to say he's doing what he's supposed to do, because you all unaware of it. He's doing more than what he's supposed to do.
beyond.
He's going beyond the call of duty to get himself back right.
Shout out to Young Thug.
Shout out to you, man. Dad really, really admires your strength.
Amen.
They're playing us like puppets right now, and it's because they have the upper hand.
Yeah.
And this is something that Dad has always talked to you about since you was a jit, about giving people the upper hand to defeat you. This is what I have been preparing you for throughout your life. And me and you know that. It don't matter what everybody else thinks, say, or do. You and I know that. I'm talking to my son now. You and I know that Dad has always prepared you to not give somebody the bat to beat you with. And if you do, we got to ride it out. We're going to ride it out together, like always. Nothing, that would never change. If I had to go through this again, which I hope I don't, I'll definitely be there. I'll definitely go through it again. But this time it'll be totally different. The next time will be totally different. I promise you that. But hopefully we past that now. The only thing we got to do now is get this off our back. Get this out of our lives. Because people don't understand that this just didn't affect you, me, your mom, your brothers and sisters. It affected our family in a whole. Throughout you being incarcerated, we lost 5 or 6 immediate family members.
And also, like his sister Dora said, nobody asks him
how
he
do you
feels,
feel?
How does he feel to lose his child's mother, to lose his dear sister, while being incarcerated
He lost
for
a
that long,
grandfather.
while being guilty until proven innocent?
There you go. So, it's people got to, I want everybody to be sympathetic to his feelings, to how he may feel, because you all don't know what all we have went through, throughout his incarceration. You know what I'm saying? I'm their father. It's a mindset that you have to prepare yourself to have, not prepare yourself for. You have to prepare yourself to have it, because you're doing it as you go. On dealing with 3 different types of lives. You got a child that's incarcerated. Well, you got children who are incarcerated, because I had 5 family members, 3 sons, 2 grandsons that's incarcerated. And be that it may, I got to fight for a lot of people. Not only just mine, all of these guys. And I say that again. I fought for all of those guys and more. The guys that's still in jail, the guys that are in jail, the people in the correctional institution, period. I'm fighting for all of them. It's not just mine only. So, I heard my son say in an interview one day that, my dad looks at everybody to be his child.
He really does.
That's the truth.
He really, really does, guys.
That's the truth. Because these are our children. You know,
And as I said before to someone this week, I've never heard Big Jeff say anything negative about any of the other boys. Not Ghana, not Yak, nobody.
for what? Why should I? You know, when I have supported them. You know, I have supported them in numerous of occasions, not just this one. You know, and I always try to include their parents in it, their families in it. Any support that we can give these kids, that's what they need. And not just these kids, all the kids need support. They need family support. You know, if you family, support them. If you friends, support them. I don't care to hear somebody saying, I can't go down there because I'm in trouble myself. So what? If you in trouble already, you should be the first one on the steps.
Come support.
Because it's affecting you too. You know, so you know you can't run from it. You got to run to it so you can get some justice. You can't get justice by running. You know, I've never seen that happen. You know, so, you know, and you know, like I said, it was offensive to see how they was doing that. You know, to where I was just at a concert at the same place. Walked in with a man, they didn't ask for no credentials. They didn't stop everybody that was with him and said, you know, you can't come through unless you got this, that, or the other. None of that. But we had family members. They wouldn't even allow us to come to the gate and get them and walk them in. They show you a flyer and say, this is the kind of pass you got to have in order to do this. This is the type of pass you got to have in order to do that. This is what you got to do. You know, you can go get somebody and they can escort somebody in. Hey, man, I was just here a week ago and didn't see none of this going on. Why now? You can't say for security purpose. There's no way you can tell that lie. You know, when I come through the back, I get off the elevator, I'm walking to the gate. I'm looking at backpacks that say GBI at a concert.
Wonder who called them.
GBI at a concert?
Crazy.
GBI on the inside of an arena?
And you know what? I hadn't seen not one post about that. I hadn't
You
seen
know,
nothing about that happening.
But guess what you have seen? You done seen a post that says Young Thug father attends Gunna's concert again.
Oh yeah, I saw that hug and everything.
You know.
But they don't show you supporting your own child. That is kind of crazy.
You don't see that. You didn't see that. You know, so this is why I be so defensive when it comes down to certain things with these kids.
Because they want to keep spinning that narrative that you and him don't talk, y'all don't.
You know,
somebody know your personal business like that.
You know, so it's sad, man, to know and to see it. You know, to witness people, you know, just feeding into negativity. But when you ask them to feed into something positive, don't nobody show.
Yeah.
Don't nobody show, but everybody got something to say. Everybody has an opinion to speak on something negative. Let's talk about doing something right to bring these kids together, to bring ourselves together. The black culture. And support each other. That's how we make a stand. You know, these guys go on these shows, do these podcasts, and they're sitting there talking to somebody who they supposed to have a level of respect for, to even give them a chance to talk to them and interview them or whatever. And the only thing they're talking about is what the hell they just went through.
Right.
You know, shouldn't everybody know by now that these guys are more than tired and sick of hearing that? Just like Dora said, why haven't anybody asked him what is his mindset, how he feel? Mm-hmm. You know, how did he deal with the things that he had to deal with throughout being incarcerated as far as in jail and personal? Mm-hmm. You know, let's hear him. Give him a chance to tell his story. See, that's why I created this podcast.
He can't even talk
So
because
that
they too busy talking about the old stuff.
So that they'll have a chance to tell their story, express their feelings. Mm-hmm. That's what this show is about. That's why we created this show. Because everybody wants to hear something, but nobody wants to hear the truth. Nobody wants to hear the truth. Let's let these men tell their stories of how they was falsely prosecuted, how they was treated throughout incarceration.
Exactly.
And get it off their chest so they can go on and live their fucking lives. I'm getting personal right now. Mm-hmm. Let them live, man. They done went through what they went through. Leave it alone. Let it go.
He already doing darn concerts for free for you.
You know.
You know.
You all have made, the state of Georgia has made nominal amounts of money off these kids throughout their incarceration.
Right.
To where housing them was a penny a day. Equivalent to a penny a day off of the money that they made off their case. Mm-hmm. So that's a drop in the bucket. That's a drop in the bucket. And they're still paying for it.
Still paying for it. And you want us to have some sympathy and to be clapping and stuff because now that the shoe is on the other foot.
Everybody got a personal problem now.
Everybody got a problem. Everybody want, just because you black don't mean that everything another black person do is right. You know, I'm not going to amen somebody just because they're black.
There you go.
You know, that's not going to happen.
We're not picking sides. You know, I want to give a special shout out to a young man, you know, on some things I heard him say. You know, I don't really get into the network of looking at these podcasts and listening to these interviews and this, that, and the other, but I found myself listening to 21 Savage.
Oh, yeah.
When he was talking to Big Bank Black. And their interview damn near turned into a argument because he wouldn't let Big Bank Black put him in a position to try to keep conflict going. You know, to the fact that, well, I guess he touched Big Black a little too hard.
Shout out to 21.
And Big Bank Black said to him, why you always trying to be the goddamn peacemaker? Why not?
Why not?
Why not? You know, why should he not want to see people get together? You are a podcaster with a top-notch show, being paid for it.
Okay.
You're a black man in Atlanta that should, probably from Atlanta, I hope, that should be stressing that we come back together as a community of Atlanta, Georgia. That's, you know, that's a slap in the damn face. But you're supposed to be cool with these kids. They got enough respect for you to come on your show and allow you to interrogate them to a manner to where you say interrogating, they shouldn't be talking to people in interrogation, meaning they shouldn't be talking to police and this, that, and the other. Have you ever talked to a police? Have a police ever pulled you over and you said, I don't have nothing to say? I ain't got nothing to tell you. I want my lawyer. You know, we can't be hypocritical. We can't be hypocritical. I'm so sick of seeing everybody play the dozens to this shit is sickening. And it's all for clout. It's all for, you know, stability to make somebody feel like I'm that man, you that man. I'm impressed when I see people stand for what's right and stay down on it.
Exactly.
That's how I'm impressed. I'm not impressed by seeing people take, you know, things that's being put in society the wrong way and run with it. You know, and I have said this from day one of this show. I don't see how nobody can really speak on what these kids endured in trial if you wasn't there.
You weren't there.
If you was there, I guarantee you, y'all wouldn't be asking some of these district attorney ass questions that y'all asking them. A lot of you podcasters sound like DAs to me when y'all interviewing these kids. You know, so I'm trying to figure out, as the kids say, which one you playing? Which one are y'all playing? You know, so if you can't talk to them, and I'm not blaming the podcasters, I blame the kids for some of that too. I blame the people who do these interviews for some of that too, because they're actually trying to answer those goddamn questions. And it's because they never had a chance to speak in trial. So now I feel like they're on trial on a podcast because they are not being allowed to talk. They're being questioned. But they're also being told, you know, you ain't supposed to talk to the police. Hell, some of y'all sound like the police to me with the questions y'all ask, because those are questions that police ask. Those are questions that investigators ask.
Yeah.
You know, so I want all of you guys, I want all the guys, all the people, whoever, if you have been in a court situation, if you have been in a trial situation, if you have been in any situation that's lawful, be mindful of who you talk to, regardless of what the respect level is. Be mindful. Because, you know, don't you all think that it's over because everybody's out of jail, or because everybody has did what they supposed to do and got on out of court? They're still listening to these podcasts. They're listening probably to your phones, which y'all already know that. They listening to the conversations you have. You know, they just showed you all that they listen to your phone calls. Mm-hmm. They just showed y'all that. So why keep doing it? Why keep doing it? When they, you know, this case, you know, and I have said this several times, if you are paying attention to this case, and if you're not understanding that this case revealed a lot of things that people have been convicted for. They have showed you how they have convicted a lot of people with this false imprisonment shit that they doing.
This RICO stuff.
Something wrong with everybody to keep doing it.
Or even to keep being around people that could appear to be doing anything, you know.
You know, if the fire hot and you know it done burnt 10 people, why would you put your hand in the shit?
Exactly.
Why?
Give them a reason to associate you.
Let's make it make sense, man. But these are the things that took place at Young Thug's concert. So how in the hell can we consider him a hometown hero when we don't give him a welcome mat to come home to? You understood? How can you say he's the hometown hero when you won't give him a welcome mat to come home to?
Here, drop the mic.
Now, moving along. Our district attorney had to go face the senators,
Georgia Senate
the
Committee,
Georgia Senate Committee,
which she has been avoiding.
And she avoided it long enough.
Yeah.
She was given, more than leeway. So, and I wish everyone would have been aware. We got to start making everybody aware of when these hearings take place so you all can tune in and see how it's being done. The words that's being said, this, that, and the other. And the DA was talking. Madam DA was talking. And she was saying things that if you heard it, you would say, she been listening to Trump a little bit too much. It was really comical at first to hear our DA say the only reason they come
Grand jury being sworn.
is because of this, that, and the other.
Witch hunt.
That's a witch hunt. That's some shit Trump will say.
That's what Trump has said.
That's Trump's motto. It's a witch hunt.
Yep.
Grand jury being sworn in and receiving evidence.
And then to say, to make a comment that you all are falsely trying to prosecute me, on some stuff that you all are making up or that people are just trying to put together to say this, that, and the third. Shit, that sounds familiar, don't it?
Let's play some video, guys. We're gonna listen to some video of her testimony. When I tell you, I'm still at a loss for words. It was completely overwhelming. I hear people on one side of me cheering for her, and I hear the other people on the side of me talking about how ghetto, ratchet.
Yeah.
So I'm looking back and forth like, what? So
We're going to give y'all some of it.
we'll give y'all a little something. This is from C-SPAN, guys.
Receiving evidence, Mr. Wade traveled to Athens, Georgia to meet with officials from the White House counsel's office.
I don't recall.
On the right-hand side here is the
Can you
meeting
all
that I
hear?
reference. The highlighted section reads, travel to Athens, conf with White
How
House
does this
counsel.
assist you in developing laws for Georgia? Because I believe the purpose that I'm here for is because you all need assistance in doing your job, and you want assistance with rules and regulations around how people should be a prosecutor. And it made sense to me that you'd come to the best prosecutor in the state to ask for some advice. But I'm confused as to how this assists you in what the purpose of me being here is.
The committee has a broad purpose. I'd be happy to refer to counsel as to the overall purpose of the committee. But my question for you is, as it relates
I
to
don't
this
think it's
travel-
relevant, so I'm objecting on relevance.
He just played that little snippet. It just went off. So, guys, yeah, that was a little snippet of her testimony. And they were questioning her on the figures. They were questioning her on her budget. What expenses does she have? Who paid for what? What pays for what? At one point, they was asking her that, you know, you get state funds, you get federal funds, and you have grant allotted funds. How do you decide which funds pay for what? And she pretty much was like, I don't recall. She pulled a Woody. She pulled she pulled a Woody. So, I don't recall. So I'm sitting here like, she don't recall nothing. And it's like, so after the hearing, guys, I'm gonna send you this. I'm gonna play this video too. Hold on, I'm send it to nephew.
You know, and it's crazy because, you know, to be there and witness it, you know, like I say to you all, if you're not there to see it, the media will have you thinking all kinds of shit if you're not there to see it. So some of the things that they put out to us in the media, we gotta always understand that before they give it to us, it's edited. So they have a lot of things that they take out, you know, a lot of things that they add in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, no more than, and this is not an excuse, no more than what they did to a lot of those guys' phone calls. Trust me, a lot of their calls were modified.
Oh, of course.
You know, and you have to be in court to see that they can modify those phone calls and videos. Mm-hmm. You know, and if you have anybody who have ever been in the industry or know somebody in the industry, ask them how they do it. You know, people who do these movies, you know, videos, they have to edit it before they can put it out to you for you to enjoy it or for you to hear it. Mm-hmm. You know, so you always have to keep that in the back of your mind. Yeah. You know, when you're looking at these things and hearing these things.
And then being there in person, you feel the tension.
You
feel the energy in the room.
There you go.
You feel the opposition. Because before I got there, I was listening online as I was en route to the court. And I was hearing that there were people standing out there with signs and protesting. So I was like, oh, I really want to see this. But when I got there, I didn't see any of those people. I don't know if they made them leave or they made them. I did hear that they did tell them they couldn't have their signs in there. Mm-hmm. So, but the room was full. It was people for her, and it was people that were not for her. Everybody's not for her.
That's right.
You know.
And that's something that we all have to understand as a people. You know, you got some people who will say, man, I love Big Jeff. I love Shanita. Then you got some people who say, shit, I can't stand them. I can't stand them.
And you know what I say? And the feeling is, you know, MF and mutual.
You damn right. You know, and it's not personal. It's not personal. You can't, you know, we're not, God didn't create us for us to be loved by everybody.
Everybody not going to like you. I'm not for everybody.
You know, we got to understand. Jesus had 12 disciples. They say, and some of them swapped out on him, and they knew he was the truth. Right. So what make us better? What make us better than him? Mm-hmm. You know, so that's something that we have to that's something that we got to keep in bearings of. That, hey man, we are not perfect. Nobody's perfect.
And as I always say, if anybody want to find something negative on anybody, everybody got something in the closet. You know what I'm saying?
Damn right.
If you want to find something negative on anybody, you can. Nobody is without sin. Nobody is without. They're not Jesus. You know what I'm saying? They're not without. Everybody got something in the closet that could be used against you. You know, I don't understand why people think that, oh, just because you got the title of a prosecutor, you can't be questioned. You can't be quizzed. You can't be, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that was her situation. Some say it was, some say it wasn't. I'm saying that we all have come short of God's glory.
At
So
some point.
at some point, right? At some point.
At some point, man.
I don't care what title you have. I don't care if you're a preacher, a teacher, a prosecutor, an attorney. We all have come short of God's glory at some point or currently. You know? So I don't like to see nobody like even funny. It's crazy having to see
her go
her
through something
having
that
to
she's
go
doing to
through
people.
this and plead
It's hypocritical.
and plead her case for doing her job. You know, it's hard to see that, and I'm not applauding that. I'm not, hey, she's going. That's crazy. I don't do that to anybody because I don't want to be on the hot seat. That hot seat is hot.
hot.
The block is hot. When you on that hot seat, it's hot. But at the same time, you got to understand that it's karma sometimes. You know.
Yeah. You know, and to piggyback what Shanita is saying, you know, sometimes, you know, they tell us, you know, they'll say to us in court, do you understand everything that's being said to you, read to you? You know, did you understand? Did your lawyer go over this with you and that with you and, you know, the other? And we'll stand there and say, yeah. Mm-hmm. Knowing
Right.
that we didn't read 10
Thoroughly.
lines of that shit.
Right.
And the system know that we didn't. Mm-hmm. Because they were standing there, some of them be standing there when you sign the paperwork. So they know you don't be there and went over that with your lawyer. So why bring it up in trial, in the case? Why even ask that? They ask that because that's part of the protocol. Mm-hmm. They have to ask you that. You
Right.
understand? You know, so they are well aware that nobody reads their plea deals like that in full. Nobody does that. And when I say nobody, I mean even the people that took plea deals on the Donald Trump case. I guarantee you, none of them probably had never seen the plea deal. No more than to sign it. Because everybody trusts their lawyers.
Right.
They trust their attorneys. So if your attorney say, well, okay, this is what this is, and, you know, you got to sign it. You know, this is the agreement, this, that, and the third. And if you agree to it, we just got to sign here, initial out, sign and date here, this, that, and the third.
Right.
It's no different than going in a bank. It's no different than being on a job. It's no different than being nowhere. If somebody puts more than 2 sheets of paper in front of your ass, and every time you sign one, they flip it and say, and this is giving us permission to this. Okay, all you gotta do is sign and date. Go to the next page. Now this is giving us, you know, telling you that, you know, you got to ride the bus till February, and then you can catch the train till April, and then you can get in your car in June. Mm-hmm. You gonna sign it and date it and go to the next sheet. So they are well aware that we do not do that.
Right.
They well aware of that.
But what do you think about with Funny being on the stand now, and she's calling the prosecutor Pete Skandalakis, the one who ended up dropping the charges? She pretty much saying he couldn't have read the whole file, you know.
And it's possible. You know why? Because if he been hearing about this case for the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years, ain't nothing to really look at. You know, they be done made their decision before the hearings take place, as we can see.
But do you guys see?
You know, so
My point of view is
it's a pattern.
It's right, and my point of view is the judicial system
Allows
in Georgia. How can one prosecutor say, "Oh no, this prosecutor is wrong,"
and the other one is right?
Right.
Come on, man.
It's corrupt. Shut the whole system down. Start over again.
Start over, man.
Because also, If you guys, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Judge Hatchett. I think her name Glenda Hatchett.
Yeah.
So, Judge Hatchett was involved where a sheriff groped her, touched her breast, I think.
Really?
Yeah. And she ended up, taking it to court. And then she was like, I'm just going to let it go because I think he got fired. Okay. So she said she going to let it go since they fired him and everything. Well, the other sheriffs got together and said, no, she need to be prosecuted. What? Why she need to be prosecuted for something that happened to her?
Thank you.
So then you got another committee of black sheriffs that came together against the other sheriffs and said, no, we standing up for her.
There you go.
So again, that's a division in our justice system.
There you go.
Apparent.
There you go.
A clear division.
That's how it is for real. They just showing you how it is for real. They showing us exactly how it is for real. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just us against them.
Right.
It's them and them only against everybody.
Against everybody. Unless they're on, and then when they're on the hot seat, it's like
everything got to be done different.
Everything different. Everything is a witch hunt. Everything is corrupt. But when they have other people on the hot seat, can you show them that same grace that you were like when you on that hot seat?
No different than a police officer shooting a black man, and they said, well, he had probable cause because the guy shouldn't have ran 10 feet.
Right.
But when it comes down to shooting another nationality, oh, you wrong.
Exactly.
You wrong because they didn't show no sign of a threat to you. They didn't, they didn't make you feel like, your life was in danger. None of this. But they died with a gun in their hand.
Right. Just like they got the guy named Linton Blackwell shot 17 times in his back. Is that not excessive?
Hey, man, that's overkill. They would have told me I overkilled him. Because I shot him more than twice.
But then on the flip side, I also think 34 felonies is overkill too.
That's
you
right.
couldn't charge him with 10 and get the point across.
Yeah.
I think that they threw the key at him too with that.
That goes back to this. I got a son. One of my sons, Gregory King, is in prison now because he was scared out of going to trial. He was actually scared by the judge, and he changed his mind about going to trial. My son is mute. He's 100% mute. He can't hear or talk. Okay? He can make sounds, but he can't hear or talk. My son was, first of all, tricked into being arrested. His story is, they told me he had a warrant. I took my son to the Fulton County Jail. We sat at the Fulton County Jail for damn near 4 hours, waiting for them to find a warrant that he supposedly had. No warrant. So the chief officer on duty told me take my son home. And if a warrant come up, they'll come get him. Or if it's with the fugitive department, they'll come get him, or however it go. I said, no problem. I took my son home, dropped him off. One of my daughters called me and said, Dad, they said bring little Greg to Fulton County. I said, for what? Oh, no, they just said, tell you to bring him to Fulton County. I said, no. I said, what Fulton County going to have to do is their job. If they want him to come to Fulton County, they're going to have to come and get him. I'm not bringing him down now. For what? There's no reason to. Long story short, one of my kids went and got him, took him to the Fulton County Courthouse. They wrote a warrant and arrested him at the Fulton County Courthouse. Listen to what I'm telling y'all. They wrote up a warrant. When he got to the Fulton County Courthouse, they say they found the warrant and they arrested him. When he was arrested and given 6 charges. 6. They finally took him to court for, a bond hearing and first appearance. Denied him bond. They denied him bond, which we already was expecting that anyway, because as the district attorney say, every time one of my family members or somebody went to court in a different courtroom that wasn't courtroom 1 where Thug and the rest of the people was at, this is what the DAs will say to the judge. And y'all tell me if y'all think that this is fair, that this makes sense. They'll say, well, Your Honor, this is Gregory King, and he's being charged with this, that, and the third, and so forth and so on. And he's also the brother of Young Thug that's on the YSL Rico case. What the fuck that got to do with it?
That was even unnecessary. Like, why throw that in?
What do that have to do with it? He's not on trial with them. He don't have nothing to do with that.
That's crazy.
That's what they was using to get the judges the heads up that these are the people that we're attacking because of what we're trying to do throughout the district attorney office.
That's crazy.
And that's attacked this family. They attacked my family.
Yeah.
You understand? So now, here my son there sitting in jail for a year better. They take him to court and says, we're going to trial within 30 days. Huh? Okay. His charges went from 6 charges of him being arrested for in the beginning to 21 charges.
Overkill.
They added 15 charges to the charges he had and labeled gang on all of them. On every charge.
And that goes back to what I say and what I've been saying. How can the DA system be removed from Trump case and be called corrupt, but they're not corrupt for everybody else?
Everybody else's case.
Yeah, they're a
Okay.
little bit corrupt. They're not all the way corrupt.
So now here we are in court on a Monday. On a Monday. We made it. We acknowledged to the judge that he was going to trial, this, that, and the third, so forth and so on. The judge said, okay. She told the solicitor, remind you, they're talking to him in sign language. Okay? Let's not forget this now. They're talking to him in sign language. Here's a man, ain't in no trouble, ain't never been to jail, served time, none of this.
And why does prison got to be the first?
The judge looked at the district attorney and said, how much time do his charges carry if he goes to trial and be found guilty of all charges? Who said he was going to be found guilty of all charges? First of all. Second of all, why would a judge ask a DA to do that when they got just as much paper, rules and regulations up there that they can look it up and add it up themselves?
Right.
And on top of that, why is that a factor right now in a hearing? So the DA did it. The DA said, Your Honor, that'll be for if he be found guilty of all charges, which is 21 charges, he stand a chance of receiving life plus 395 years. Now, understand what I'm saying. This is an interpreter that's talking to my son, a signer.
So of course he's terrified.
When they say that, when they sign that to him, I can see the fight go out of my son. I can see it. why would the judge do that if they're not trying to put a scare tactic on my child to make him take a plea? The judge said, okay, so well, we're gonna start his trial Wednesday. This Monday.
What?
You gave him 1 day to think about it. One. He's petrified. When my son turned around and looked at me and asked me what to do, I said, we're gonna fight. I gave him, we're gonna fight. He told the interpreter, whatever his dad say, that's what we're gonna do. But after they did that, and he had to think about it, it scared him. It scared him. Here we are Wednesday in the courtroom. They say, he said he'll take the plea deal. And his plea deal was, Your Honor, if he takes a robbery case and the gang charge, we'll dismiss the other 19 charges. They sat down and conjured up charges off of looking at a video, and every charge they felt like they can put on somebody off of a video.
Why we doing that?
That's what they did to him. His charges, understand this, his charges went from 6 charges to 21 charges. And he was incarcerated? How? How did that happen? He didn't get charges in jail. They put charges on him while he was sitting in jail waiting to go to court. This is what they're doing.
Unbelievable.
This is what they're doing to our loved ones at Fulton County. So we better start supporting them. Now my son pled out to 20 to 10.
Gee.
A deaf man being charged with a gang charge because he signs with his hands. We better stop being crazy and ignorant to the facts, because we're playing with a crew right now that's, hey, they ain't taking no prisoners. They're really trying to make somebody think that they're doing the right thing, but they're always getting caught in the wrong.
Right.
I got a grandson for Darian Grill. That's down in prison right now with a life sentence for an accidental murder of his girlfriend. And it was truly an accident. They played 12 videos in his trial trying to make him a womanizer, saying that he was abusing his girlfriend the whole 9 yards. Out of 12 videos, not one video did they play shows him even hitting his girlfriend.
Wow.
Out of 12 videos.
And it don't seem like, cause you like if you haven't been there, you're like, really? It just
Really?
seemed unreal, but it's really
And
true.
I was told that during deliberation, during deliberation with the jury, the DA and the judge went in the deliberation room and talked to the jurors.
So corrupt.
Why? Why did they do that? Why were they allowed to do that? And nobody said nothing.
Because they've been getting away with it for so long.
You know, 2 of the young ladies that was prosecuting his trial, that was prosecuting my grandson's trial, were mentors for his aunt at Clark College. That's a conflict.
Right.
That's a conflict. Both of the young ladies that prosecuted my grandson was mentors of his aunt when she was in high school, going to college every year for a program that they had. And when we made it known to the system that this is what happened, this is what was going on, nobody did nothing. They continued to let them stay on the trial. When I tell you I went in at least 15 courtrooms when guys were taking plea deals or trying to, get in court or get their court dates or get their trial dates set, all of the district attorneys sound exactly the same. That's a rehearsal. That's something that's being rehearsed. Everybody sounds the same. When it came to my family, it was always the opening conversation was, yes, this is Quentin Grill, and he's also Jeffrey Williams' brother on the YSL Rico case.
That's crazy.
This is Mr. Federian Grill.
Right.
And he's also Jeffrey Williams' nephew that's on the YSL Rico case.
It's almost like if we can't get him, we're going to get his brother pretty much.
We're going to get anybody we can that's affiliated with him. All the way down to his brother that's deaf.
This is crazy.
He's the brother of Jeffrey Williams on the YSL Rico case.
Right.
And every time it was said, I asked, what the hell do that have to do with this?
That's crazy.
We got to make it make sense, man.
He pretty
They
much guilty
attacked
by
my family.
association because that's his brother.
They attacked my family because they knew they really weren't going to be able to convict my son. Quintavious Grill, my son Quintavious Grill, he was been incarcerated since he was 17, got out in 2019. And wound up in a damn YSL Rico case. How was that possible?
When he was incarcerated.
How was that possible? He don't even know these kids.
It's like they make you guilty into proven innocent versus innocent to proven guilty.
So everything that those guys went through, the system had already did something that they prosecute people for. Premeditated, illegally law process. That was a premeditated plan by the judicial system of Fulton County against my son, Jeffrey Lamar Williams, young thug. And they attacked his family. The whole YSL Rico case, ladies and gentlemen, was not premeditated to go to trial. It was premeditated to be plea bargained by all 29 defendants. That's what it was about. So we gotta put the right people in place. We gotta start doing homework on the people that's running for public office in our state.
And getting the information
our
out
county.
before they get elected if they're corrupt.
We got to, man. We can't. So that's why I'm really dragging myself to try to get all of these guys to get past whatever they feel like the system have made them believe about each other and come together.
Right.
We know the guys of YSL can't come together because that's part of their plea deals. They can't be around each other. So why do everybody keep getting on these podcasts or keep saying in the blogs, they beefing or they don't like each other or they rats or they telling on each other or they this or they that. They just can't be around each other. That's why they not together. It ain't got nothing to do with telling some or doing some or this, that, hey man, I haven't seen nobody that said nothing, that could have been detrimental yet. I don't. But that's my opinion. That's my opinion. And that's my opinion because I was there. I heard word for word. You all heard what was put in the tabloids.
Right. You guys heard the edited version.
I was there. Yeah, questions were asked and this, that, and the third. Yeah, they was. Certain things, Gunner said this and Gunner said that. He said yes. He said yes. And I'm gonna be a player right here. When you have if your girlfriend say, girl, tell my husband I was with you, or tell my boyfriend we was together on this night or that night. And vice versa. Guys, you tell your partner, hey man, when I call you, say this, that, and the other. Don't you know that's what's gonna take place? And then there's gonna be something added to it. Your partner gonna say, hey man, then we go to the strip club, and then we went over here, and then we went over there. Then you gonna say, yeah, and then we went to the Waffle House and ate, and then we said we were gonna go home, and then we stopped and shot some damn pool. That's what's gonna happen. When people know that you're automatically gonna agree to something, they can ask you anything.
And
they can suggest anything.
And you've been sitting in jail. You ready to go home and eat some real food,
So, and that's the panic they use. Sure. We're gonna hold them until they get tired and say, I wanna go home.
Yeah.
No bond. They couldn't even give a proper probable cause as to why these guys didn't deserve a bond. They ran out of options.
You know what? And
Glenville just kept going with bullshit.
Right. And then she said, charge it for me.
So,
and then Fonnie was saying in her testimony against the Georgia committee, she was like, Trump, these guys are criminals. They criminals. An officer who they swear to care about was killed. Okay. So that even furthers our point in saying that the exact charges that you were charging YSL for are the exact same charges that you was charging President Trump. You make these boys sit in jail 2 or 3 years, where Trump walked straight through.
Thank you.
So that's why the whole system is corrupt.
But that was because he was the president.
I understand
he was the president, but he had 19 people.
Right, but now she's saying that why he's still a criminal, even though the charges have been dropped. How can you call somebody a criminal and their charges been dropped?
And you doing more criminality than both teams, than the ones you than both people that you put in the indictment.
Because if my charges got dropped, I don't want you calling me a criminal if I just got my charges dropped.
There you go.
So that man got all those charges dropped. So, but she's still saying they are criminals. They are criminals. And then I looked it up. So I looked it up because she was saying how Pete Skandalakis shouldn't have did this. There's a thing called the Georgia Bar Ethics and Conduct. They have rules of conduct. And my phone dead, guys. So there's a rule where an attorney can't intentionally give a false statement on another attorney, guys. So at minimum, it's just unbelievable to me that her attorney is thinking that no, because I asked him, I said, so do you feel like their next step is to file a contempt on her? And he was like, no, I don't think so. I'm like, do you think that they just going to say, okay, it's over with this testimony? I don't see that happening. I believe that that's wishful thinking. We're talking about President Donald Trump, who goes after everybody who goes after him. That's what he's doing. Now, I think with the Latifah James up in New York, how her indictment, they keep being unable to indict her. I think that's awesome for her. But I still don't think he's going to stop. I still think they're going to keep continuing to be persistent. I don't think Fonnie Willis is going to be as lucky as Latifah James. You know, I just don't think so. I don't know why. I just don't feel like it. You know, so I don't know. You know, there's two sides of the story, and there's people that support it. There's people that doesn't. I have my whole different views on it because of the YSL case and the corruption and the disparity that I witnessed. This is not hearsay for us. Like, this is stuff that you cannot tell me that I did not sit here and see. We knew that Judge Glanville needed to be removed before he was removed.
Yeah.
Did we? Did we not?
Way before. Way before.
So you can't sit here and tell us how we supposed to feel when we've seen, like, if you would have asked me maybe 10 years ago if Fonnie was in the same position that she's in now, do I think she's someone to look up to, blah, blah, blah. A lot of these people who I thought were good people to admire, to say, oh, you know, this is a good person. And some of these organizations, like Big Jeff say all the time, how many times we tried to go and see what can be done about the violation of these rights. And even before Glanville was removed, just the corruption that was going on in the courtroom. And it's like everybody turned a blind eye.
Turned the other cheek, man.
Now, I will say Nathan Knight, SCLC at the cab.
Yeah.
He
Mr.
was
Knight, man,
one of
stood
the
up.
only ones
He
that stood up and was ready to
stood up.
go and be down and fight for the cause.
And they told him he couldn't even come in the Fulton County courthouse.
They scared him. They told him because he was out of the cab, he can't be
could
in
not
Fulton
come
trying
in
to
Fulton
advocate.
County, man.
And Fulton got their own SCLC people and all that, so they pretty much scared him.
Yeah. You know,
But at least he tried.
And I went to and don't misunderstand now, I went to the Atlanta district, and they turned us down. Mm-hmm. They asked us, what you want us to do?
They sent us a link.
They sent us,
to
they
fill
sent us a
out
link to
with
fill
all your
out.
address and information, which I think now that was just to be nosy.
Yeah, NAACP asked us, what y'all want us to do about it? Huh?
Right.
What you mean? You are legitimately sitting here looking at people's rights be violated to the fullest. And you say, what do we want you to do about it? Are you serious? You know, so, you know, a lot of these people, man, they show us what all of these black, you know, I guess leadership
And
people supposed to be.
And
they
some of these
ain't
people
even
just
shit.
want the titles.
They just want the title.
They just want the titles to say I'm the president of such and such and
You
such
know.
and such, and I'm the what they call
Administrator,
HNIC.
on the head nigga in charge. You know, hey man, you ain't in charge of shit.
Ain't doing that. Ain't busting the grave.
You're a puppet. You're a real puppet.
Nah, what it is, some of these attorneys
You know what I'm
they trying to be the next Ben Crump, the next Lee's Merrick.
Yeah,
Make your own lane.
there you go. So you know it is. You know it's all that in a nutshell. You know what I'm saying? So it's you know, we just got to do better. We got to get these people out of office, man, and we got to put some people in there that really wants to
Care
see
about the people.
our city do better and care about the people of the city.
Right.
You know, Andre Dickens is putting up a pretty good fight.
Yeah.
Antonio Lewis, the, you know, councilman Antonio Lewis, I'm sorry for disrespecting you like that, Mr. Lewis, but City Councilman Antonio Lewis is putting up a good fight. You know, he just need the south side of Atlanta to stand with him more.
Right.
You know, I think, and he'll be okay.
He
He'll
just
be
got
even better.
reelected to his second
You know,
term.
so
too.
he just got reelected.
Shout
so
out to
shout out to
Antonio.
Mr. Lewis. Shout out to Antonio Lewis. You know, Councilman Antonio Lewis. You know, and hopefully we can see him still in office 20 years from now. You know, and the city out the south side of Atlanta will really be a progressed place then. You know, so he's doing a lot of work. You can tell the difference between having somebody that's fighting for that side of town, for the south side of Atlanta, opposed to having somebody that's over the south side of Atlanta, but they're living in Buckhead.
Right.
You know, so, you know, big ups to Antonio Lewis, City Councilman Antonio Lewis. You know, now he just needs him a cabinet that he can put together and continue to, you know, make the south side of Atlanta grow and become better.
And that's good that he's from Atlanta. So
There
he,
you go.
know,
And he's from the south side of Atlanta.
yeah.
You know, he's from the Cleveland Avenue, Brownsmill Road, Jonesboro Road area. He's a graduate of South Atlanta High School. Yeah, that way.
That part.
You understand? So, you know, he knows what his side of town needs to be improved, you know, and to be better. He knows it, hands on. You know, so that's going to be the show for tonight. And, you know, this is Big Jeff.
This is Shanita.
Coming to you live from No Days Off Radio Production with #1 show in the land. Nothing but the truth. And we out.
We out, guys.